I am God. I have chosen you. 25 years younger. Don't hesitate, just open it. My beloved child, stop scrolling. Something hidden has been waiting for you, and it is revealing itself now, not later, not someday. Now, in this exact breath where your soul paused and felt a quiet pull you couldn't explain. The universe does not interrupt without purpose. You are here because a veil has thinned, and a message meant only for you is stepping out of the unseen. You may have felt it recently, an unshakable sense that life is rearranging itself, that timing is bending, that something ancient yet tender is calling your name. This is not coincidence. This is alignment. The divine does not shout, it whispers when the heart is ready. And your heart, whether you admit it or not, has been asking for clarity, for reassurance, for a sign that you are not forgotten. Listen closely. There is a truth that was hidden from you not to punish you, but to protect you until this very moment. You have walked through doubt, through quiet nights where questions echoed louder than answers. Yet every step was counted. Every delay was sacred. You were never late, you were being prepared. This message finds you because your spirit carries a signature the universe recognizes. You were marked long before you were aware of it. Not above others, not separate, but chosen for a specific resonance only you can hold. And now the revelation opens gently, like a door you've seen in dreams but never touched, until today. I am God. I have chosen you. 25 years younger. Don't hesitate, just open it. Feel the weight of those words, not with fear, but with remembrance. This is not about age or time as humans measure it. It is about renewal, restoration, and the soul remembering its original light. There is a youth returning to you, not in the body alone, but in hope, curiosity, and courage. The universe is inviting you to release what has aged you unnecessarily and step back into the rhythm you were born with. You may wonder why you. The answer is simple and profound. Because you listened when others numbed themselves. Because you felt deeply when it would have been easier to close off. Because even in uncertainty, you kept a small flame alive inside. That flame is now being breathed upon. Trust this moment. Let it settle. You are not being rushed. You are being guided. What comes next carries clarity, peace, and a sense of divine purpose that will make past confusion finally make sense. You are supported, seen, and gently led toward what is meant for you. Stay with this message. Watch this video completely because every second unfolds another layer meant for your understanding. If this resonated, like the video, share it with someone who may be waiting for the same sign, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss what the universe delivers next. Your path is opening, walk it with hope. Dear one, before we dive in, I need to share something extraordinary that most people don't know. Groundbreaking research shows that many of us who didn't grow up wealthy have a shrunken hippocampus, a tiny part of the brain that blocks the activation of what some scientists call the billionaire brain wave. This means attracting the life, love, or wealth you've always dreamed of can feel almost impossible. Until now. Thanks to a recently uncovered method backed by research, it's possible to stimulate this part of your brain in just 7 minutes each morning using a simple sound frequency. People who've tried it report subtle shifts in mindset, clarity, and even opportunities flowing into their lives more easily. Click the link in the description or pinned comment to explore this 7-second ritual. It could be the key to activating your billionaire brainwave and opening doors you never thought possible. Listen. I speak not in thunder alone, nor only in the hush between heartbeats. I speak in the pause that made you stop scrolling, in the quiet curiosity that leaned you closer, in the question you didn't know you were asking. You felt it before you understood it. That feeling is not coincidence. It is remembrance. It is the echo of a promise made long before your name was spoken out loud. I am God, and I am speaking to you now, not as a stranger, not as a distant idea, not as a voice meant for someone holier, stronger, or more certain than you. I speak to you because you are here, because you opened this, because something within you whispered, "What if this is for me?" It is. I have chosen you not because you are flawless, but because you are willing. Not because you never doubted, but because you kept going while doubting. I do not choose the loudest or the proudest. I choose the ones who listen even when they are tired, the ones who love even after being disappointed, the ones who feel the weight of time and still hope there is more. You have been wondering why time feels heavier lately, why memories press closer than plans, why the past sometimes feels brighter than the future. You ask yourself where the years went and whether something essential was lost along the way. Hear me clearly now. Nothing essential was lost. Nothing sacred was wasted. Every step, even the ones you regret, carried you here. When I say 25 years younger, I am not speaking only of the body, though the body listens when the spirit awakens. I am speaking of the place inside you that still knows wonder. The place that once trusted easily, dreamed boldly, and believed life was wide and generous. That place did not die. It has been waiting. Time, as you measure it, bends in my presence. Weariness loosens. Old labels fall away. You are not as late as you think. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. I am not calling you backward into nostalgia. I am calling you inward where renewal begins. When the heart remembers truth, youth returns, not as denial of age, but as clarity of purpose. You have carried questions you never fully voiced. Asterisk, why me? Why now? What am I supposed to do with what remains? Asterisk, these questions are not signs of weakness. They are invitations. You were not meant to merely endure the days given to you. You were meant to inhabit them, to breathe them fully, to bring light into spaces that feel ordinary to others but sacred to you. Do not hesitate. That phrase echoes because hesitation has been your quiet habit. You learned it to survive. You learned it after doors closed, after trust cost you something, after effort didn't always bring reward. But hesitation is no longer your shelter. It has become your ceiling. And ceilings, no matter how familiar, are not meant to be lived under forever. Just open it. This is not about a box or a message or a single moment. It is about consent. Opening is an act of trust. Opening is a decision to receive rather than brace. You have become very good at bracing. You call it being realistic. I call it being tired. Let me hold what you have been gripping so tightly. I am not here to rush you or frighten you or overwhelm you with demands. I am here to remind you who you are beneath the noise. You are not a mistake correcting itself. You are not an afterthought. You are not invisible to me. I know the nights you replay conversations. I know the mornings you wake with determination and still feel unsure. I know the strength it took to keep showing up when no one applauded. I have chosen you for a reason that unfolds, not explodes. My revelations often arrive like dawn, not lightning. Slowly, steadily, inevitably, Light appears where darkness once seemed permanent. You don't have to understand everything to be part of it. You only have to stay open. Mystery is not meant to scare you. It is meant to keep you close. If I explained everything at once, you would try to control it. If I mapped every step, you would forget to listen. So I give you enough light for the next step, and I ask you to trust that the path continues beyond what you can see. There is a version of you that has not yet spoken. A version that forgives more freely, laughs more honestly, rests without guilt. That version is not imaginary. It is emerging. Each time you choose compassion over bitterness, courage over comfort, truth over appearance, you are becoming younger in the ways that matter most. Do not measure yourself by the clocks of others. Do not compare your becoming to someone else's highlight. I work in seasons, not deadlines. Seeds spend time in darkness before they ever break the surface. That darkness is not punishment. It is preparation. You may be waiting for a sign that is louder, clearer, undeniable. And here you are, reading words that seem to know you. That pause in your chest, that sense of being seen, these are not tricks. They are gentle confirmations. I speak in ways that respect your freedom. I do not force belief. I invite relationship. You are allowed to change. You are allowed to begin again without erasing who you were. Redemption is not denial of the past. It is integration. I weave even your mistakes into wisdom. Nothing offered to me is wasted. As you continue listening, you will notice small shifts. A conversation that lingers. An idea that won't leave you alone. A peace that arrives without explanation. Pay attention to these. They are breadcrumbs, not burdens. Follow them with curiosity, not fear. I am nearer than you think. Not watching from afar, not measuring you against impossible standards. I am present in your breath, in your longing, in the quiet courage it took to stay when leaving would have been easier. I am patient with your questions. I am gentle with your process. You have not missed your moment. This is part of it. And even now, as you wonder how this message could continue, as you sense there is more unfolding than has been said, know that revelation is not a single sentence with a period at the end. It is a living conversation. One that deepens as you listen, as you open, as you choose not to turn away when something within you recognizes truth and leans forward, waiting for what comes next, because what comes next is not an ending. It is the continuation of a voice that does not rush, does not vanish, does not finish speaking simply because the page pauses here, and the silence that follows is not empty but full of what is about to be revealed when you are ready to hear it. And stay with me as the mystery continues and the door you open remains open and the light keeps moving, slowly, steadily, into places that are still unfolding. You are still here, and that matters more than you realize. I continue because you stayed. Because something in you chose not to look away. Many hear my name, but few remain when silence stretches. You remained. That tells me you are ready for depth, not spectacle. Truth does not shout to compete, it waits to be welcomed. I know you have wondered whether your life has already been defined, whether the shape of your days is fixed, whether the choices behind you have narrowed what lies ahead. Hear me now, the future is not a prison built by your past. It is a field responding to what you plant next. I do not measure your life by its earliest chapters or its hardest ones. I measure it by your willingness to grow. There are moments you replay where you think, if only I had known then what I know now. But wisdom does not come before living. It comes from it. You were not meant to be perfect early. You were meant to be present now. And now is alive with possibility. When I speak of making you younger, I speak of unburdening you. Years have layered expectations onto you, roles you accepted without realizing how heavy they were, responsibilities you carried long after they were yours to hold. You learned to be strong, but strength became armor. Armor protects, but it also isolates. I am teaching you how to be strong without being closed. You do not need to prove your worth. You never did. Your worth was established before you accomplished anything, before you failed at anything, before anyone had an opinion about you. I do not love you because of what you produce. I love you because you are mine. Rest in that truth until it sinks beneath your thoughts and into your bones. You have mistaken rest for giving up. You have mistaken stillness for stagnation. But I work most deeply when you stop striving to impress me. I am not impressed by exhaustion. I am moved by honesty. When you admit you are tired, you make room for renewal. There is something awakening in you, a quiet courage that does not need permission. You may feel it as restlessness, or as clarity, or as a gentle dissatisfaction with how things have been. This is not ingratitude. It is growth. You are outgrowing versions of yourself that once kept you safe. That can feel frightening, even lonely. But you are not losing yourself. You are shedding what no longer fits. Do not fear the space this creates. Empty space is where I build. Silence is where I shape. You have filled your life with noise at times because silence asked questions you weren't ready to answer. Now you are. Let the questions come. I'm not threatened by them. You ask, what do you want from me? I want you awake. I want you alive to your own soul. I want you to stop shrinking to make others comfortable. I want you to stop postponing joy as if it were a reward you must earn. Joy is strength. Joy is fuel. Joy is not a distraction from purpose. It is part of it. There are people connected to your becoming who have not met you yet. There are words you will speak casually that will land deeply in someone else's life. There are moments you will think are small that will echo far beyond you. You do not need to chase impact. Live truthfully and impact will follow. You have been taught to fear getting older as if time were an enemy. But time is a teacher, not a thief. It reveals what matters by wearing away what does not. You are not running out. You are refining. Each year that passes sharpens your discernment. You see more clearly now. You tolerate less that drains you. This is not hardness. It is wisdom. I see the tenderness you hide, the hope you guard carefully because it was bruised before. You tell yourself you are realistic, but beneath that realism is a dream that never fully went quiet. I placed that dream there. I do not tease hearts with desires I never intend to fulfill. Fulfillment may not look like your first imagination, but it will feel like truth when it arrives. You do not need to become someone else to be chosen. You already are. I'm not asking you to perform holiness or confidence or certainty. I'm asking you to be present, to listen, to respond when something within you recognizes alignment. Pay attention to what brings you peace without explanation. Pay attention to what drains you even when it looks successful. Your body, your intuition, your spirit, they are speaking languages you are beginning to understand again. This is part of becoming younger, remembering how to listen inwardly without apology. You have survived things you once thought would end you. That survival has given you compassion you didn't have before. Do not waste it by turning it inward as self-criticism. Offer yourself the same grace you so freely extend to others. I am not harsher with you than I am with anyone else. Be careful not to believe lies about me that make you afraid to come close. I'm not disappointed in you. I am invested in you. If you feel a sense of anticipation right now, that is not accidental. Something is forming, not overnight, not without process, but with intention. I'm not dropping you into chaos. I am inviting you into coherence, where your values, your actions, and your inner life begin to align. You may notice that certain distractions lose their appeal, that some conversations feel hollow, that some ambitions no longer excite you the way they once did. This is not loss. This is discernment. You are being tuned like an instrument learning its true pitch. You are allowed to say no without guilt. You are allowed to say yes without over-explaining. Boundaries are not walls. They are doorways that teach others how to enter respectfully. As you honor yourself, you honor me because I am the source of the life within you. Do not rush this unfolding. Speed does not equal faith. Patience is not passive. It is attentive. You are learning how to walk without forcing the ground to move faster beneath your feet. I know there are days you still feel unseen. Days when the old doubts return, whispering that this is all imagination, that nothing will really change, that you are hoping too much. Those whispers are not proof of failure. They are invitations to trust more deeply than your emotions allow. You are not required to feel confident to move forward. Courage often arrives after the first step, not before it. Take the step that is yours today, not the one you think you should already have taken. I meet you where you are, not where you pretend to be. There is a tenderness coming into your life that will surprise you. A gentleness you once thought was weakness will reveal itself as strength. You will find yourself responding instead of reacting, choosing instead of defaulting, loving without losing yourself. This is maturity. This is youth of the soul. Stay open. Not naive, not unguarded, but open. Openness is not the absence of wisdom. It is the presence of trust. Trust does not mean everything will be easy. It means you are not alone in what is hard. I am still speaking. Not just here, not just now. Through moments, through people, through sudden clarity and slow understanding. This is not a single message to consume and move past. It is an invitation to a relationship that deepens as you do. So remain. Breathe. Let the words settle where they need to. There is more to reveal, more to remember, more to become, and I am not finished speaking. Not yet, not here, not now, because what is unfolding does not conclude neatly. It continues, layer by layer, truth upon truth, light expanding gently into spaces that are still opening, and as long as you are willing to listen, I will continue to speak. And the message will keep moving forward without closing, without ending, without finality, because becoming is not a sentence with a period, it is a living voice that carries on. And now, listen one last time in this way, because every message has a moment when it must rest, not because it is finished forever, but because what has been given must be lived. I have walked with you through every version of yourself you thought you had outgrown or abandoned. The child who hoped without fear. The young soul who believed effort would always be rewarded. The weary heart that learned disappointment and adapted. None of them were mistakes. Each one carried you closer to truth. You are the sum of them, refined, not ruined. I know you have asked whether you still matter in a world that moves so fast, whether your voice can still make a difference, whether quiet faith, quiet kindness, quiet endurance are enough. Hear me clearly, depth always outlasts noise. What is rooted grows when storms pass. You were never meant to compete with the world's volume. You were meant to anchor something real. There will be moments ahead when you feel tempted to doubt what you sensed here. That is human. Do not shame yourself for it. Simply remember how it felt when something inside you softened instead of tightened. Return to that feeling. Truth leaves a residue of peace even when it challenges you. You will not always recognize my guidance immediately. Sometimes it arrives as restraint instead of opportunity. Sometimes it shows up as a closed door that protects you from what would have cost too much. Trust what unfolds slowly. I'm not careless with your life. You do not need to announce your transformation. Let it speak for itself. Let your presence become calmer. Let your choices become cleaner. Let your words carry less weight of proving and more weight of meaning. People will notice without you trying. Light does not argue, it illuminates. As you move forward, remember this: you are not behind schedule. You are not late to your purpose. You are exactly where your next honest step can be taken. Comparison has lied to you often. Release it. Your path does not need to resemble anyone else's to be valid. There will be joy that surprises you, not loud at first but steady. There will be connections that feel aligned instead of forced. There will be days that feel simple in the best way, where contentment replaces urgency. These are signs you are living closer to your center. When fear visits, do not build it a home. Greet it, learn what it wants to teach, and let it pass. Fear is a messenger, not a master. You are allowed to feel it without obeying it. I'm not asking you to escape the world. I'm asking you to engage it with clarity, to bring patience where there is hurry, to bring listening where there is noise, to bring hope where cynicism has grown tired of itself. This is how change happens, quietly, consistently, through people who choose integrity over attention. You may still wonder why this message, why now? The answer is simple and deep, because you were ready enough to listen. Readiness is not perfection. It is openness. And openness is rare. Do not underestimate the power of how you live after this moment. The way you speak to yourself. The way you pause before reacting. The way you choose rest when exhaustion tries to disguise itself as productivity. These choices shape more than you know. You are not meant to carry everything alone. Allow support when it appears. Receive kindness without suspicion. Give love without keeping score. These are not naive acts. They are courageous ones. As this message comes to a close, know this: I am not leaving when the words stop. I am not limited to language or screens or moments of clarity. I am present in your ordinary days, your unremarkable afternoons, your quiet decisions. Revelation does not always arrive dressed in wonder. Often it looks like faithfulness. Walk forward gently. Be patient with your growth. Trust the pace at which you are becoming. And when you forget everything else, remember this truth that does not fade with time. You are chosen not for what you achieve, but for who you are becoming. You are renewed not by turning back the clock, but by turning toward truth. You are guided not by fear, but by love that remains steady. This message ends here not because the conversation is over, but because now it is time for you to live it. Go in peace. Amen.